Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of TalkGA, our podcast on anything and everything Grand Archive. I'm your host, Mark from Solar Games, and joining me are my co-hosts, Eva and Fome.
Hello. We're back.
All right.
Back, finally.
Yeah. How was your week, Fome?
Exhausting. I'm like half dead from working for like 10 hours on the NorCal Regional stream with you guys on the production team. Stream team, let's go.
We did have fun. We did have fun.
Yes. It was a blast.
And what about you, Eva?
Oh, I mean, same.
Same?
I mean, regional was like 2 days ago, so we rested yesterday, and now we're back today.
I know, doing podcasts.
It's just been like going and going and going.
Crazy.
I know. Yeah. But otherwise, I think we've all been busy, which is why we haven't had an episode in a long ass time.
True.
Like personally, I've been like sick and had multiple injuries, and finally I'm feeling fine again. So I'm glad we can film.
Are you okay? First of all.
I think I'm okay now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're alive. We got there.
It's been a hectic month then.
I know. I mean, it's been hectic for you too. You were out of the country.
Yeah, without internet access, basically. Well, I mean, I was disconnected from the Americas. It was weird. It was really weird. Like just to land in the country, open your phone, and realize nothing works. I can't go to any basic website that we normally.
You were traveling to China, was that right?
Yeah, that's right. So in China for like 3 weeks, and then of course coming back, doing a bunch of like work stuff too, just keeping everything really busy. And then on regionals too, right? So kind of fun. We did like 7 rounds of casting back to back, but I didn't really lose my voice. It was pretty good. I was kind of surprised.
You were on point the whole time.
I did yell my lungs out for like one moment in the regional.
I know what moment
we all
it was.
heard. We all heard.
I hope I didn't peak our audio.
We're going to talk about that in a little bit.
We will. Yeah, it was very exciting. It was very exciting.
Yep. Great event.
Yeah, but before we get to that moment, quick notes on what we're going to be doing today. For today's show, we're going to kick it off with the B&R announcement that happened recently. We're going to have a Cornering the Market segment. And then following that, we're going to talk about the NorCal Regionals. And then, of course, the 2nd anniversary stream that happened recently. Mm-hmm. And last but not least, we're going to have a special Trash or Gas segment on MRC Alter.
That's right.
Hope you guys are looking forward to this. All right. Without further ado, Fome, you're up. Banned and restricted announcement.
Banned and restrictions.
B&R.
All right. So no cards were banned.
Okay.
So no changes from category 1, 2, or 3.
Good.
But we did get a brand new Praxia's Vault card. Ooh. And boy, is this a doozy of a card. I think they may have to nerf this at some point in the future because it is insane.
I can see that coming, yeah.
But it costs 2, Fome. It costs 2.
Yeah, it really costs 2. Yes.
All right, before we get deep into it, what's the card?
Let's
All right, so the card is Clarent Reimagined. Yeah, and I love like the aesthetic and I guess like the flavor of the card because it's like Lorraine conjuring up a new version of Clarent in her dreams by combining 2 weapons together, which kind of goes what that
art is?
Right? It kind of feels like that to me in the art, and
everyone
so
at home,
blind.
Look at
Mark and I
zoom
are so
into
blind.
your image.
It's like it works with the mechanics of the card.
Yeah.
So let me just go ahead and read what this card does. Okay. So 2 cost Regalia, Warrior Sword, Clarent Reimagined, Lorraine bonus. While paying for this card's memory cost, you may banish a card named Clarent Sword of Peace and up to 1 other Sword Regalia card from material deck. Each card banished this way pays for 1 of that cost.
Yeah.
So does it really cost 2? No, most of the time it costs 0.
Yeah.
And then it has another ability, which is also a Lorraine bonus. Remove a durability counter from Clarent. If target unit would be dealt non-combat damage this turn, prevent 2 of that damage. It also gains Spell Shroud until end of turn.
Yeah. Not the unit.
Not the unit.
Clarent
gets Spell Shroud until end of turn. So,
Safe.
like we were talking about, like Zhang Jiao doing everything. Mm-hmm. This card does everything.
It's also a 1/3.
It is also a 1/3, so you can use it multiple times.
Yeah.
And man, it's like who would have thought that we're gonna get Crux Knight Lorraine support in 2025?
Right.
Yeah.
I woke up that morning, this dropped, and had like a bunch of people tagging me.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean we just got Crux Knight support?
Even wake up, there's a new Crux Knight support card.
I'm confused. I'm still confused.
Right, so this works well with Crux Knight because Crux Knight says you get +1 attack for every sword in banishment. This sword automatically banishes 2 cards, so you get +2 attack just for playing this card. But
You
it's
can pretend to be Merlin now.
That's right. It's not good just for Crux Knight. It's also good for every version of Lorraine as well as Merlin. So, for example, Lorraine Spirit Roller, you could banish your Clarent Sword of Peace, but then banish like a Drawn Blade.
Yep.
And so when you level up to Spirit Ruler, you get back the Drawn Blade and draw a card without having ever played the Drawn Blade in the first place.
Saves you a turn. Kind of.
It saves on tempo and value because you didn't have to spend the card to play the Drawn Blade in the first place.
But that turn you would play the Clarent. So technically same amount of turns, but you get more value out of it.
Yeah.
You definitely, because this card is like the safeguard amulet that you have to have anyways.
Yep.
So now you just had it
Yeah,
earlier.
so you don't need to run Safeguard Amulet anymore in your deck. You just run this instead.
Yep.
It's even good for Merlin because banishing two. Yeah, it's kind of good for Merlin because you can banishing the two swords actually has a cost reduction effect for Incarnate Majesty. So it
But
supports three different champions.
But then the rest of the ability is still Lorraine bonus. So once you've leveled up into Merlin, you can't
Right,
lose.
so
the
Merlin
prevention
probably
anymore.
would run this. I'm just saying, like, if you're coping, it actually does stuff in Merlin also. But it's really about that second ability. Because if you think about what this does, it's like, when I first read it, I thought it was just block 2 damage of non-combat damage. But it's actually every instance of 2 damage for the entire turn. Which means if you remove a single durability counter, Burst Asunder does 0 damage.
Correct.
Regardless of how many fractals you've sacrificed. But let's say they want to do burst damage and hit you for, a big fireball or even an arcane blast. You could remove 2 counters, Ascension to bring it back, remove another 2 counters, Ascension to bring it back, remove 3 counters. That's like you're blocking 2, 4, 6, 8, 12 damage off of this one card. So you got that defensive application from it. You also have the offensive utility for this card because, what does a Fire Lorraine fear the most when going for a big Redding Flames? I blow up your sword.
Oh.
And this says, no, you can't blow up my sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's like the thing you're afraid of most, because it is just like 1 damage or 2 damage if you make the hit, make the connection. However, I will say the fact that having it have Spell Shroud is very nice to just have that like certainty that no one can mess with it.
Let's say you want to do it all in attack round. I'm gonna hone, and then attack you with it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But what's gonna happen in most cases is like on the last hone, they fracturize your sword and then you get nothing. This just is completely immune from that. And I think that ability is really played out in the meta of NorCal Regional, as we'll get into a little bit later.
We saw a lot of this on stream. Right?
Yep. Pretty much single-handedly brought back Fire Lorraine. This card does everything. It's insane.
It's a good card.
It's really good. Yeah, it reads really well. I feel like honestly, for the ability side, just having one of the two, maybe the first one, the damage prevention would have been like enough. I think it also threw me for a loop too, because the old Clarent read the next instance of non-combat damage.
Right.
But this is so like more like a shield, not like a barrier that would last it for the whole turn. But this one, this is for it's like, it's a safeguard. It's half a safeguard amulet is what this does.
Though the old Clarent would block damage to every unit that you control. So it also protects your allies, which is
fair.
kind of nice, but definitely not as good as this.
Yep, they do kind of different things.
I just think it's so interesting. I'm like, were they just going down the list of like what cards are never played in the meta ever, and how can we make people put it in their deck list?
Yep, no one was playing Clarent.
Random.
And this makes a lot of sense now why like I came back from China and all my Clarents are sold. Like I'm like, 64-cent cards, like all gone.
The market.
Wait, was it like you were the only one who didn't update your prices because you were out of country?
I just out of country. Well, I usually close the store, but like I just open the store. I don't like go through 5,000 cards and make sure every number is correct. And then like within a couple weeks, I was like at a conference too. I come back, I'm like, there's like 6 copies of Clarence sold. Like why? I don't know. We'll find out next week, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I think also looking at this card, a lot of people were like, does this card now make like Weaponsmith good? Does this make Refurbished good? Because it gives durability counters. I think Weaponsmith was the one I was kind of not too sure about. Like I knew everyone was gonna play Sun Ce which Weapons Master, which
Yeah.
gives a durability on enter. I mean, they were gonna play it anyway, just because it's a really good card. But I was like, Weaponsmith was the one I was like, I don't know if it will happen. And yeah, checking Fractal of Insight, which is our favorite tournament results and analysis website, only 3 people have it in their deck list out of the 49 published deck lists so far that have cleared. So not a lot of people are on that Weaponsmith.
Weaponsmith reimagined.
Oh,
This is how we buff every card now.
It doesn't need it. But now I want to check if anyone played Refurbish.
Yeah.
I mean, I highly doubt it, but I want to check anyway.
Yeah.
On your recollection, generate a refurbish.
Oh, this is how we fix weapons.
Yeah,
right?
that's what it does.
Oh my god, there's only 5 sightings of Weaponsmith or Refurbish
Ever?
on this website ever.
And it's like half of them are just like
Jokes.
people putting it into like the sideboard as the one of like I'm gonna win with. Yeah, it's a joke.
Yeah. But other than that, nothing's really changed. Including, I guess, previously they had put Crystalline Mirror on Category 1, and that's remaining there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that I want to bring that up too because apologies for dredging this whole thing up too, right? Because I know it's old news, but excuse me, okay, I did lose internet access for like a whole month, and I didn't see this, but I did look at it. I'm like, wait, Crystalline Mirror is put onto Category 1 now. To be fair, I don't find that this card necessarily going to Category 1 was surprising or like makes me very excited or anything like that, being significant. But I think the most significant part about this is about design philosophy that really like hit it with me, which I want to highlight here, right? So I'm just kind of quoting from the website, and this is the excerpt, so it's not the whole paragraph. But our philosophies regarding the interactions toolbox allowed to each element has changed and matured. Regalia Destruction is something we feel does not quite mesh well with Water's identity from this perspective. I thought it was really kind of interesting because I remember a couple episodes ago we were chatting about this whole like, does element or color identity matter in this game? Like, should each element have their own like way of being, right? And I feel like in some ways this is almost the devs saying, yeah, we think it should have something, right? Have their own like uniqueness or unique identity, which I just find very exciting. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I mean, this card just reads like a fire card,
Oh, okay.
right?
Except the glimpsing, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, but blowing up an item
Yeah,
is
I
like
agree.
a very fire-like ability.
Destructive, yeah.
And I think it's like too useful also in the Diaochan and Fractals deck.
Yeah.
Because like, oh, nice safeguard amulet you could have there would be sad if something were to happen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it makes sense to be on Category 1.
Yeah.
And hopefully it actually goes up to Category 2 and ultimately gets banned.
Gets banned, yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's another thing where when this card first came out, it felt balanced because it wasn't. You couldn't get that many fractals up that easily.
Yeah.
But now we have Dissonant Fractal, reserve cost 1. It's so easy. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. Or
Nearly
like,
there.
or the fact that it's actually, it counts not just fractals, but it's actually Fantasias. Now every
about
fractal is, So like Diaochan just has Fantasias for free, right? So it's very easy to activate this card.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get rid of it.
I like it. I think this is the right direction. I love the word matured in this sentence too. I feel like just seeing that makes me have like actually greater confidence that it's going to be more fun to play this game because I think in a good, well-balanced, asymmetrical card game, it's good to have weaknesses as well as strengths in your elements. So and you can't have everything, right? So cool. And that's it for our BNR update. And we're going to move right along to cornering the market. All right. For this cornering the market, I'm very excited to tell you about meta-defining card that is Home by Fire foil. Yep. I told everyone, and Fome was making fun of me for this 50-cent card. Now this 50-cent card has become $5.
Mark told us so.
To be fair, there are I think there's like still 2 listings at around like $2.50 if you pay the shipping, whatever. But this is like 1,000% increase. I mean, this totally makes sense. I'll put this in perspective. I did some math, right? So I looked at like card population for this card in foil versus something like Rending Flames. Rending Flames in foil is like $20 right now, right? And there's so many different copies, variations between the 1E, like and the Alter, and of course the SP2. There's only one copy or one version of Home by Fire so far. It is a common, but there's only 27,000 copies of it total.
Yep.
There's way more Rending Flames foils out there.
Yep.
So if that card is $20, this card, yeah, being at $5, I think is very reasonable. So
Yeah. And FTC's overall price is going up lately.
Who would have seen this coming?
Yeah.
Really?
The box that nobody wanted, but now it's actually quite expensive to get a sealed box of
Crazy. I
FTC.
can't believe this.
that's the second item that was blown out of my store. Like I'll come back, I'm like, oh, 6 boxes of FTC. All right, here we go.
Good thing you bought it when it was low.
I just kept on buying, guys. I just kept on buying.
You
I
believed.
bought the dip. Yeah.
You believe.
I believe. Yeah, I believe. Anyways, yeah, just like you were saying too, it's not because Home by Fire is somehow like a magical card. Absolutely Clarent Reimagine enabled Fire Lorraine, which is the most obvious path with that card. And then, of course, enables Rending, which enables Home by Fire.
Yep.
This is just like kind of all comes together.
Fire's back, baby.
Fire is so back. All right. Speaking of Fire's back, Ace and Protector is our next card. This is going to be a Rising Star. So I noticed some interesting market movements with this card. This card for a long time has been sitting at 50 cents ish, right? Like to $1. And I always thought, isn't this the Frostborn Paladin of Wind? Like, right? It's like, it reads very similarly. It does wind things. The wind version of like draw a card, you pull it back to your hand, right? Because it's not like a lot of people look at what Aeson can do as a downside, but a good wind deck can leverage that downside as upside, like pulling the windmill engineer back or something like that, right? So, or like getting the squirrel back to swing another one for free at you or something. So I always thought it was weird that this card was sitting at like 50 cents when Frostborn Paladin was always hovering at the lows at $6, at the highs is like 12 or 15. It's insane, right? So maybe I'm onto something, maybe I'm not, but Ace and Protector is now $3.50 as an SP2 version.
As an uncommon.
I think that one is technically a rare in SP2, but SP2 is kind of weird, right? Like, I mean, they have rarities, but it's not quite the same as a box rarity. But also the actual uncommon card is $1.50 now.
Dang.
So up a little bit. I think it still has room to grow. If this is the Frostborn Paladin of Wind, and we're going to see more allied decks maybe next season or even the end of this season, I think there is some upward potential with this card. Now, maybe not ever at the Frostborn Paladin level, but I think that, again, there's still more.
It's never going to be a Frostborn Paladin.
Probably
You know why?
Why?
Not a waifu.
No.
Well, they could always print another
Yes,
art
they
of
could.
it.
They could make a waifu Ace and Protector. Yeah, that's true.
Ace and Shield Maiden would have done it. That was it, guys.
Weebs, do it.
All right, and then last, we're gonna come into the Unbound Potential section. This section are the cards where I think they're kind of maybe in a good spot to purchase, right? So the first card is Provoke Obstinance.
I've never seen this card played.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna say this card, and everyone's like, what is this card? What does it do? It's a Neos card. Basically, I'm not really gonna, this is not about reading the card text, but basically it's a protection card for Neos, right? You can prevent some damage, and if it's preventing damage for one ally, you draw a card. If it's preventing multiple allies, then you don't draw the card, but it targets up to, I think, 5.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and then it also gives some spell shroud, so you kind of like can do things like counter fireballs, counter like all sorts of like spell damage things with one card, right? This card is like $1 at best, 50 cents at like around where it is. But remember, this is the SR. This is not a common. This is not an uncommon. It's not a Home by Fire. This is SR from ALC, I believe. Yeah, ALC. What I'm seeing is that there are a lot of like Neo support, and if what we kind of think about Weave's kind of direction with what is not being played right now, put more cards that allow this element to see more play happening. I think this card could be really good, right? Whether you're protecting your own Tony, which is going to be a beefy ass Tony, like hitting people for a lot of damage, or you're preventing or protecting your allies, your Neo automatons, your Neo like robots. I think this card could be really good. So I think it has a lot of upward potential.
Tenoris reimagined.
Tenoris reimagined. Yeah,
that's right.
Great. There's another card I want to cover here, Andronica, Eternal Herald. The reason I want to cover this card is because ever since the end of the automaton meta from the end of MRC, this card has been just kind of like falling down in price. Because at the highest, this card was like around $15 a card, right? Fairly good. Again, another SR from MRC, I believe. And so it's gone down all the way until March, where it hit around $7, where it kind of bottomed, and from there it's been picking up ever so steadily. Remember, everyone knows there's an MRC reprint coming, and we also know that there's not an automaton meta right now. So why are people starting to steadily buy this card again?
Yeah, why now?
Part of this, I think, is because there is, with MRC Altered, more support for automatons that will enable potential other automaton shenanigans like what we've seen before. So that's where I think there's potential for this card. I wouldn't really pick it up now, though. It's already around $11. I would wait until the drop of MRC Altered that first week when more cards come to the pool. And you may see the card drop down to about $5. And that might be a really good spot to pick it up. Yep. And that's all I have. Those are the 4 cards for this month's Cornering the Market.
Thank you, Mark.
All right. Moving on to our main topics for this podcast today. We're going to talk about NorCal Regionals.
That's
Eva,
right.
do you have our data on this?
I will, but I was trying to find the.
You was trying to buy the cards real quick.
No, I was trying to find the release date of MRC Alter. Do you guys have it?
It's the end of this month.
It's the end of May?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what to do. I was like, don't tell me it comes out before this episode comes out, because we usually film these about a week before the episode releases, because we have all the editing and reviews to do.
Yeah, either that or she was grabbing her credit card to buy up everything that I was talking about the whole time.
Hey, are you selling? I'm just kidding.
Scamming? All right, let's go.
Okay, so
NorCal Regionals.
Like we said, we just had our NorCal Regional. This is our local regional here in Northern California.
Always fun.
Some of our subscribers may have seen that we had a live stream on our channel here at TalkGA.
Yeah.
Our first live stream on this channel, because all 3 of us are very involved with the event and the production.
Yeah.
Like we said, Mark was casting alongside Jim the Eternal, and you guys were both awesome, killed it.
Yep.
Like had energy the entire day long. Like just the 2 of you, really impressed.
It was the players. It was the plays, man. We had good games that didn't drag things down and just kept it going. It was great.
Yeah,
Good
great
games.
players, great casting.
And then Fome and I were both on the stream team with Shinja and Snorlax. That was really fun. And we also wanted to just like thank everyone that tuned in.
Yeah,
'cause
thank
just,
you.
Like the viewership and just like a lot of supportive comments that we got definitely kept us going throughout the day, and just it's really gratifying. We're really grateful. So thank you to everyone that tuned in.
Thank you, viewers. And I also really want to thank Shinja, who drove all the way out from SoCal just to help us with the event, bringing all that gear. Snorlax for making it such a smooth production.
Oh, yeah.
And again, all of you guys for joining in.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, all the volunteers, judges, everybody else too. Like, I mean, just the entire thing, at least from my perspective, ran really smoothly. Thank you guys for making sure everything was up. I mean, I don't remember there was a time of like, okay, we're gonna have to hold stream for 2 hours while we fix the internet or something like that, or repairing. Like, this happens a lot. So
Fome and I are looking
from my perspective,
Fome and I are
everything was
looking at
smooth.
each other right now because Mark, so naive. Sweet
But
summer
see,
child.
this is the beautiful thing about production. Okay, see, it happens in the background. They smooth it out. What we see is just the finished product. It's awesome.
I'm glad you were having a good time.
I had a great time.
It's just unfortunately there are some things that are out of our control, such as the internet suddenly dropping and slowing down, which happened a lot during the stream, and that's really regretful. I'm glad Mark didn't have to experience any of that pain.
All I know is this happens every single like event I've done. So it's part of honestly just the live streaming, right? It's like 8 hours or 10 hours or whatever. It's bound to happen. So what happened at the NorCal Regional?
I don't know. You tell me. You saw all the games. You even had a whole meta breakdown with slides and such. Any thoughts on like the meta? Decks that showed up?
So obviously coming into this regional, a lot of times, caster, we always have to prepare and understand the current meta, the shift, where players may want to be, try to get ahead of their decks, their deck techs. I thought the meta was pretty diverse, but what surprised me more was how different it was from the EU Nats, which is the one that I study the most, I think, coming into this, preparing for this regional.
Was that about a week before our regional?
It's about a week, yeah.
Okay.
Now, there's a lot of events, obviously, that happens in between, but being that it's a gigantic event, and that's usually where I think a lot of players are studying from, between events. Anyways, from that event, it was like, Henke obviously took the show there with the Allies deck. So, and I saw, of course, fractals like being, everywhere as they were. And of course the Wind Luxem, the Luxem decks in general. That's what I was expecting. But of course, Fire Lorraine was the one that I guess took the show.
So did you come in prepared to cast Fire Lorraine mirrors?
Always.
Always.
See, the beautiful thing about Fire is I can never be surprised by things like Fire Lorraine because it's obviously the element I'm most associated with.
Okay.
I like it. I like the cards. I know what they do. I kind of have an idea of the game plan. So yeah, I mean, Fire Lorraine, the fun is, I think it was Death at War after game 1 said, it's not really a new deck. It's literally Fire Lorraine plus Clarent reimagined. So you just do the same thing that Fire Lorraine was doing, and then that's about it. Yeah. So I was ready for it. There were a couple things that did surprise me though. About the Fire Lorraine. And then in addition to that too, I thought it was really fun to see the new version of the weed deck. Or the herbs deck, burn the herbs, slash and burn
deck.
Yeah, it was fun. It was
That was
cool.
actually very scary. I was watching it on the stream, and I was like, it does that much
does.
damage?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
We're talking about Fire Arasana, by the way.
Yeah, sorry. Fire Arasana.
Yeah.
Where you
smoke weed.
Yeah. So basically, Cinderbloom, a tender, right, that does 1 damage to each champion whenever you gather. With Slash and Burn being able to gather basically a total of 4 times. And then with Searing Rebuke to rebuke the damage that you were going to take back to your opponent.
Yep.
Essentially, that all adds up to 14 damage every single time you work that whole entire combo off.
I was watching on the stream, and his opponent was like, so I take
9.
So I take 9. And he's like, no, you take 14.
Let me do the math for you. Yeah, it was cool. So just seeing that deck, it was kind of fun. I mean, aside from that, just seeing a lot of other decks, I think like Jin doing pretty well was really interesting
we had
too.
2 Jins in our top 16.
That was pretty
Who would have
impressive.
thought?
That was pretty impressive. And do 2 different flavors, right? I think it was a Serene Fire and a Wind Allies
Allies.
Jin. Yeah.
Yeah, Wind Allies Jin that actually utilizes Jin 2 effectively.
Yeah. Come on, the
It's-
godly.
Jin 2, not just as a
stepping stone.
stepping stone to get to Jin 3. Yeah, that was pretty cool. To
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, seeing like, it's like, oh yeah, your allies do extra damage and you can get an extra attack on Jin 2, things like that. Things that people forgot that Jin actually had on the card, inherited effects. It's cool. It was good to see some of this stuff happening. So yeah. So what about you guys? Anything that was interesting, surprising?
I really like the Wind Umbra Tristan versus Water Kongming matchup, which is not a matchup you see every day.
No.
And I think this was piloted by Bread Pudding or Waylon against Saphit Snake or Stella. And it was just a nail biter of a 3-round match because it was like game 1, it was like Stella on the offensive with 2 Ardent Cloud Strikers and like Waylon basically trying to cling in there for dear life.
Yeah.
Then game 2, Waylon basically got like the perfect hand and just really early mastermind scheme, get a gajillion counters, kill you right away. And then game 3, it was really, really close, back and forth, all the way to like
So intense.
the last minute. And the game-winning play, I think, was really intricate because Waylon was like, I'm gonna slice and dice you for lethal, and I'm gonna make sure the slice and dice gets through.
Yeah.
So I have Incapacitate in my hand to stop whatever Song of Frost you might play.
Yep.
I'm gonna bring out a Viridian Trinket
Yep.
so that you cannot possibly play more than 1 interaction with me. So I'm definitely gonna kill you. But no, Saphit Snake had the tech to get around this slice and dice. So she Terrasites and turns the cardinal directions to south, allowing Seasick Edict to be free. But it's not free because Viridian Trinket is out, so it costs 2. But she's able to play for 2. Bread Pudding or Waylon incapacitates the first Seasick Edict, but because it was only 2, she had enough cards to play another Seasick Edict.
It was so
Like
crazy.
the double play around.
So crazy.
That was amazing.
Yeah. I think it just, again, it's pretty crazy that the line worked out this way, because I think it was like we're discussing this a little bit earlier too. Like, there is no way that this play would have worked without Season Edict. It's almost
That's
every
right.
fire.
Yeah, it's the first
water
time we've
card.
seen this in the meta.
I mean, do you guys know what Season Edict does?
I did not before this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was seeing it for the first time, and you're absolutely right. If there were a Song of Frost, it
Couldn't
doesn't
do it.
work.
Couldn't
It
do
would
it.
cost 4, so you would only be able to play 1 interaction.
That's it.
But yeah, that's the tech card apparently.
It's crazy. And it was like Sapphic had to go south with the Terrasite. Because I mean, when the Terrasite was first played, I'm thinking like, are we just drawing outs? Like, what is the purpose of this? But the reason was because the wind was in the right direction for Seizing Edict to be free or discount by 2, essentially.
Yep.
So that was really key in that matchup. I thought it was great too, the back and forth of that.
Yeah. Super impressive plays. Great lines.
Yeah. Speaking of impressive plays, I want to talk about some impressive cards that I've been talking about that everyone doubted me for.
All right, tell us, Mark.
Now that Fire Lorraine's back, and I did say this, okay, when HVN dropped, we talked about Trash or Gas, Saints, Sword Saints Vow, okay, possibly the best card of the set, okay, maybe just a smidge under Art of War.
I'm sorry.
These are some controversial
This
statements.
card is so good. This card is so good.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm sticking to my guns. I don't think it's gas. I think it's still trash, and the only reason that's good is because of Clarent.
That is also true.
If Clarent didn't come out, this card would still not be played.
It would still be in the attic.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's pretty good though.
Maybe.
Like, but the fact that Sword Saint's Vow does 6 damage by playing 1 Honed by Fire on it, it's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I distinctively saw, I think it was Chrono running this to Ren for 12.
Yeah.
And which created one of the most hype moment of this tournament, which is so this, I think this was the duel between Jamba and Chrono. I think it was round four, I believe. Basically, 2 Fire Lorraines mirror match against each other. Yeah. Obviously, the tech being what defensive cards they have. Now, this deck, Fire Lorraine, basically runs no defense. It's about like being the beatdown. I'm the aggressor. I'm gonna do things to you. You have to respond to everything I do. Now, Jamba ran Crystallized Destiny as the defensive card, the tech in the sideboard, right? So game 1, obviously, whatever, doesn't matter. Things happen, because it's not in the main deck. Game 2, Jamba brings in Crystallized Destiny. This card essentially just prevents all damage. It's like a Spell Shield Arcane type of card, right? But never had a chance to play it because Jamba won without using it. So of course, game 3 happens, and all the casters knew, because we saw the deck list and we knew this was a possible play, right? And so we were like, when is this going to happen? And it's even worse because game 2, Jamba did have this card in hand, but again, never had to play it. Went to game 3. This information was never revealed to Chrono. And so Chrono's looking at the line and says, hey, you know what? I got a line to kill. So Home by Fire, Sword Saint's Vow. This thing's coming in for like 6. And then Jamba with like 4 cards in hand just starts smiling. Right? And lays this card down. And Chrono goes, ooh, like pog face.
Like, oh.
Yeah. For like, it was a pog face hold for 2 seconds. This is the Crystallized Destiny. He's going to see it. Oh, he's going to be so surprised. Oh, look at his face. He did not know that.
Yeah.
Ooh, he didn't know that. He didn't know that.
Nope.
Like, how is this possible? What is this card? And it was like...
You guys just lost it in the casting table, too.
Because we knew it was going to happen. Because we saw it in Jamba's hand. Jamba knew it was going to happen. When the Home by Fire happened, I think he was just like fidgeting with the card, basically.
It's like, I'm ready. Let me play it.
And it's even better because right afterwards, Chrono had to like double read this card over and over again to understand what it actually did. Wait, does my actions?
It zooms in on him as he's reading the card.
So it was really cool.
That's a pretty funny moment in the stream.
And Jamba went even like the step extra because in that same sideboard there was Sparkle Lights, which is to counter the Crystallized Destiny.
You can't prevent it, the damage.
So if they Crystallized Destiny, Jamba would have Sparkle Lighted the Crystallized Destiny, and then the Rendu was still going for, let's say, 12 or whatever.
That's good.
It's really like some...
He fully teched for this matchup.
Yeah, he was really teching for this matchup. Anyway, it's just kind of fun to see that. Yeah. One thing I will say about the Fire Lorraine, though, just as a meta like cap, I'm gonna be honest. I think the flames are gonna be snuffed out. I do think this is just one of those things that happens with a new card coming into the meta. People seeing like, hey, this is really surprising. It's going to catch a lot of people off guard. It's obviously good against the Burst Asunder decks, right? Which probably in a lot of ways allowed decks like Jin to propel higher, right? Than other decks, because this was just like keeping and like restricting all the the gatcg Fractal decks down.
Oh, so this opened the floodgates.
Open the floodgates for the other decks to kind of show up. I think also, yeah. It's again, we never know going to tournaments like this what would happen, but this is I think what happened. And just like every like fire aggro deck that happens and does really well in the beginning of every season, usually they don't do well on the second, third event because most people now know what to do against them. Yeah. It is very glass cannon-y, right? Which is why there's always going to be a Fire Xander, but you don't see like Fire Xander topping every single tournament because of exactly that. So I will say that I hope everyone had fun running Fire Lorraine for the last like week or so, but the dream might be over.
We'll see how much staying power this deck has.
Yeah. I'm very, very curious, like you said, to see how powerful this stays. But just like to put things into perspective, it was very good, but I don't think I wouldn't consider this to be tier 0. Like for some perspective, there were 3 regionals that happened on the same day. Yeah. So I was super curious to look into, who topped all these regionals. Mm-hmm. So this is a sample size of 218 players total.
It's a lot.
So it's not bad. The biggest similarity between the 3 regionals was that Fire Aggro Lorraine did well. It was 20% of all the top winner lists among the 3 regionals.
Wow.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Fractals was second at 12.5%.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, it's doing well here. It's doing well in Pennsylvania and doing well in Europe.
Yep. Yep, and next week everyone's running season edicts, and like
everybody's gonna
stop attacks, and
yeah.
I don't know how I missed this, by the way. I don't know if you guys know this, but Sword Saint's Val's ability to add 2 durability counter doesn't care if the craft was targeting the Sword Saint's Val. If you craft any other sword, this also gets.
So you put it on your Claret.
Yeah,
and then Sword Saint's Val gets the buff.
Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, so I didn't actually even see that until just recently. I was like, oh, that's cool. Anyways, Sword Saint's Val.
Sword stuff right now.
Yeah.
Very exciting regional to watch.
For sure. All right. Some other exciting things that that everyone should have watched, except I didn't watch it, is our second anniversary stream. That just happened also recently, right?
Yeah. Happy birthday, Grand Archive. 2 years.
Birthday. Yeah, unfortunately I missed it, but I think Fome, you caught most of it. Yes. So can you catch me up to what's happened?
Yeah, it was one freaking hype stream.
Yep.
A lot of big announcements. I think we're not going to cover like every single thing because there's just like way too many things that were mentioned.
We don't want to be here that long.
But just to give you the highlights. So they showed SP3, so Supporter Pack 3. For y'all that don't know what Supporter Pack is, it's basically a standalone product that has a bunch of boosters with new art versions of existing cards. Yeah. And all the proceeds to Supporter Packs go to support organized play. Ooh. So basically go back into the prize pool. Yeah, so people are always really hyped for these cards. The art is really beautiful. Yeah. And they actually revealed the entire card list that's going to be in Supporter Pack 3.
Okay. What kind of cards do we have?
We're going to pull it up right now for Mark to see.
Well, everyone wants those Fracturizes.
Wait, Fracturize is in Supporter Pack 3?
That's right.
Reprint.
Okay, guys, it's over. Dream's over. Start selling Fracturize. I think it's like $9 right now.
I wouldn't sell that everything. Quickly. It's a CSR.
Wait,
yeah,
CSR.
Do you see the category is under collector super rare?
Oh, it's CSR only? Okay, we're good, guys. Keep buying. Let's go. We good. FTC, it's sold out, guys. Okay, it's sold out everywhere.
Yeah, but the other CSRs are Geldis, so the Cowman.
Cow's back, yo.
Gloamspire, Black Market.
Dude, the best domain ever. Whoa, okay.
Anzali, Unshackled Blaze.
Unshackled Blaze?
Yeah, for all 3 of you that are playing that card.
I'm sure it'll be very pretty.
Yes.
Okay, this card is really good. Okay, it's going to stop all the Foster deck that's going to come soon.
And then we'll also get a CSR Vertiger's Decree.
Okay, all right.
I'm super hyped for.
Interesting.
Wait, CSR only. Okay, all right. Don't sell Vertiger's. Well, actually, maybe sell. I don't know. Vertiger's Decree is really expensive right now.
Yeah. How much is it?
It's like $30.
Yeah,
what was it
it's
before?
pretty darn good. You buff my guy, kill your Fractal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we are gonna have MRC Alter coming soon. So, anyways, what else? Any other cool things on the?
Okay, so one more card that they revealed, and this is a brand new card. So this comes in the box topper of SP3 as a little separate card that you might get.
Okay.
And this is a special commemorative card to celebrate the World Championship that Glenny Boy won in 2024.
He got his card?
Yeah,
he got a card?
Get a Glenny Boy card.
Wait, does it have his face on it?
That'd be hilarious, like they do in Magic.
Yeah.
No, it's actually Lorraine.
Yeah, unfortunately, no.
Wait, but it's not like Glenny Boy or Lorraine?
It'd be hilarious if it would be like Glenny Boy cosplaying as Lorraine, but no, it's just regular Lorraine.
Oh, okay.
But I think the team basically asked him, "Hey, you won. Do you want like Merlin or Lorraine?" But he like really likes Lorraine, so they decided to make a level 4 Lorraine card
Wait, this is
to commemorate.
This is
his
not
victory.
illegal though, right? This is just like for,
No,
for
it's
show.
legal. You can play it. You can put it in
You
your
have a
deck.
level 4, dude. Okay, you rule like unplayable champion Lorraine.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if you would actually run this card because the ability is kind of more of a meme. But I just read the card.
2024.
Yeah, it's called Lorraine Ascendant Wings because Bloody Boy is the Ascendant champion.
Okay.
It has a single ability, which is you could pay 2,024 reserve cost, and if you do this, you generate any amount of Sword Regalia cards. I don't know what that means. I guess you could put an infinite number of Sword Regalia on the board,
yeah.
and they all attack like in Soul. So you basically get unlimited blade works if you activate this ability.
Yeah.
I mean, conceivably could happen if you have a 2024 card deck.
Yeah.
Just stall. You'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't
It
know.
also has 32 health, which probably is the only relevant
it's
part. of this card.
generate. So now they're gonna be like, why are you lugging this luggage bag around? I'm like, oh well, it's all the swords I might use when I activate this card.
Make sure they're sleeved the same
Or
way
I'll,
as your
I'll
material.
generate like 1,000 prismatic edges.
That's right.
And they all trigger and blow you up. That's
right.
like,
That's right. Yeah, cool.
but yeah, it's a pretty cool card. And
Very beautiful card.
Yeah.
And it has Glenny Boy's signature on it. I think it's just so cute,
dude,
so
Bloody
sweet.
Boy, you have a sick signature.
It's really pretty.
Wait, that's his signature?
I love
Yeah.
his signature, yeah. It looks great.
This is great.
Yeah.
Looks amazing.
That's way better than my signature. Whoa,
Yeah, you got to work on that. I
I gotta
think.
work on it. Man, it sucks.
But yeah, again, congratulations, Glenny Boy.
Yeah.
And whoever's lucky enough to pull this card, you get to celebrate Glenny Boy's victory forever.
Yep. Eva, look, Crux Knight got buffed.
Yeah, Crux Knight support.
All right, here we go.
Thanks, guys.
They printed a
Thanks.
Crux card again.
Yeah.
Actually, they didn't. It's a norm element. You would lose.
Oh, yeah.
You're not even. Oh,
It's actually-
you don't lose it, but it's
Yeah.
normal.
It's funny that it's not even
It's funny.
Crux.
It's not even Crux.
That's interesting.
We still don't have a Crux card.
Yep.
Yep. Cool.
So some more announcements. They unveiled some brand new merch, and these are really cool. Like,
Yeah.
I think they have a new apparel line, a new Merlin T-shirt. That's like a very kind of like a minimalist design. I think it's really cool.
I really like it. I'm definitely getting the Merlin t-shirt that Belle was wearing on stream so I can twin with Belle. It looks really nice.
Wow.
Very fly. I like it.
Wow, okay.
And then, of course, everyone always asks the question: Sylvie plushie when?
Sylvie Plushie when?
Sylvie plush when?
For 2 whole
Sylvie
years.
plushie now.
Now, that's right.
Get it right now.
We finally have a Sylvie
That's right.
plushie.
That's right.
At
Two
Worlds.
easy payments.
Right, and you can pick it up at Worlds. I think all of these things are debuting at Ascent Worlds.
Nice.
And then they also showed a new figure, a little combing,
Okay.
just like the Sylvie right here, but it's combing.
Wow, so cute.
Yeah.
Does she have a book or something?
And
Oh,
like
she's holding a fan. Is it the Ebbing Tide?
It's
or-
so cute.
probably the Ebbing Tide, yeah.
It's probably the Ebbing Tide, yeah.
Which will definitely add to
Wow.
our set right here.
Wow, that's so cool. Great.
Yep. So those were the new merchandise they added. They also gave some new details on Path of Silver. So Path of Silver, they decided to change it up a little bit this year. But
Okay.
fear not, because the original Path of Silver main event
Okay.
is not going away. That's still there.
Okay, all right.
But I think, it's always been a huge commitment to actually participate in that
Yeah.
event. Because first, you need a giant collection. I mean, you don't have to have a crazy collection if you just want the Threshold Awards.
Yep.
But you also have to commit the time to put the cards together. If
Yeah.
you're playing in Path of Steel, you can't really participate in Path of Silver easily.
Yeah.
So they came up with actually a brand new system just for those people. And so now, when you go to Ascent Worlds, you are automatically enrolled in this Path of Silver, this new version of Path of Silver. You get a list of cards. And I think they said that this would be handled digitally. It would
Okay.
appear on an Omnidex.
Sure.
And the list of cards is actually like grouped into different sets.
Okay.
And there's like easy sets, medium sets, and hard sets with different number of cards. And then you basically get those cards, hand them over,
Yeah.
and for each set that you fulfill, you get a different prize.
Oh,
So
okay.
some of them give you like promo cards.
Yeah.
Some of them give you like a play mat. or something like that.
Okay.
Pretty fun.
Yeah, it's pretty neat, and you can do this at your leisure, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Just stop by the booth, give your cards over,
Redeem it.
and they will give you your prize cards.
Little fetch quest.
So you hand the cards to them and then like a redemption?
So you don't actually lose the cards.
Okay.
What they do is they give a little Sylvie stamp on your card. So they actually mark your card with a stamp.
Yeah, they degrade the value of your card for you.
Got it. Okay.
I mean,
Alright.
I think arguably maybe people can really like a stamp. It's like a commemorative little mark on it. And I know for sellers like Mark, it might be a nightmare to inventory that.
Yeah. Sylvie stamp, top left corner of Merlin's face. Yes or no? I don't know.
So, seller implications aside, I think it's kind of cool, and your stamp cards are still perfectly legal for play.
Cool. That's good. That's actually really important. Yeah.
Yeah, but once it's stamped, it can't be redeemed again.
Okay.
So you can only redeem a card one time.
That is also necessary. Yeah. Okay.
Also, they made it even more accessible because let's say you're missing one of the cards in the set.
Yeah.
You could actually re-roll that card.
Yeah.
And it'll replace that card with a different card.
Okay.
That's nice.
And
Or
that,
just reach out to all the vendors. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people who are selling cards, trading.
yeah, I
It's a
think
good.
the idea is to encourage trading.
I think that's one of the best part about like worlds where a lot of people are together. We can do trades and just like, oh, I need this card, blah blah. Because you said, does everyone have different sets, or are we all looking at the
Actually,
same sets?
yeah. So I think maybe it's almost like semi randomly generated.
Oh, wow.
Or there's probably a bunch of different sets.
Sure.
And
Yeah,
you
yeah.
get your set's gonna be different from,
Other people's
sets.
Wow.
And for the reroll mechanic, you can't just keep rerolling forever. It's on like a cooldown.
Okay.
So maybe like once every few hours you get to reroll the card.
Oh, it's just like the guesses basically. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
So yeah, I think it's pretty sweet. Definitely a lot more people get to participate in Path of Silver because of this.
And does it have like high requirements? Like, are people going to be stamping your CSRs or like?
No, I think what they said on the stream is for this event, it would be pretty more like lower like rarity / value cards.
Okay.
Of course, they're not gonna like ask you to hand over like your CUR to stamp it. Like,
I mean, look, there's only one of that CUR, so maybe it's okay. But yeah. I get you. Yeah.
so that's the new Path of Silver.
Okay.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
A lot of implications, but I think it's really cool that it's accessible.
Yep.
I'm assuming it's also probably not like 50 cards, probably maybe like 8 or 9, like a smaller set. Probably.
Yeah, I think there's like sets of 4, sets of 5, 6, 7,
That's
8.
great. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So it's really easy to like. Well, I only want to just do like these 2 sets. You get some cool cards out of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty neat. Fun for everyone.
I like it. I actually think, I know maybe some of the vendors are a little skittish about this. I actually think this is a pretty cool idea that might invigorate some of the resale market too. If you think about it, in a way, it is taking cards inventory out of the secondary market.
That's hilarious.
Is it right? It's a weird-
Your inventory becomes more valuable because of this.
Well, I mean, because like I have unstamped cards, right? Home by fire, guys. Home by fire. All right, here we go.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So
Cool.
That was Path of Silver.
Yeah.
I think probably the biggest thing they showed off on the stream was the entire spoiler list for MRC Alter.
Yeah.
They literally showed every card, every new card that's going to be in MRC Alter.
Okay.
Including the brand new mechanically unique cards as well as new art versions of the existing cards. Some of these cards look insane. I might say busted.
Super busted.
Super busted, and I don't think we have time to talk about every one.
Yeah.
But I think there's a select few that we do want to talk about.
Okay.
On this segment of
Trash or
gas.
Trash or gas? Is this car trash? Is it gas?
I pressed NOS on my car. That's what I did.
Shifter.
Yeah. I did. So this is the part I did actually take a closer look. I looked at some of the cards when we were doing our NorCal Regionals, which piqued my interest to look at more cards. So I brought a card to Trash or Gas today.
All right.
So, hear it.
What do you
can I
have for
start it
us,
off?
Mark?
Let's hear it.
All right.
I'm sure
so
it's trash.
it's trash. Okay. It's Crux card, guys. Crux.
Crux.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
So there are Crux
I
cards
got you.
on
I got
MRC.
you, I
Wow.
got you. Yeah. So the card I brought is Charge Directive. This is a 2 cost attack warrior automaton command.
Ooh,
I think we've had commands before, but not the way this. I think.
No, we have not.
I don't
Are you
think
sure?
so.
We absolutely have
I'll
not had
check
commands
index
before.
Alright,
right
okay.
now.
And this is an
Oh,
insane.
no.
mechanic.
It's because there was a Sylvie card. It was a Tamer card, something command, but it's not a command card.
Command the Hunt.
It's a new
Command the Hunt.
It's a new
Command-
subtype.
New subtype. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this thing allows you to. So it reads command automaton. An automaton ally you control performs this attack. So it's attack card, right? But it's not for your champion. It's for your automaton, for your ally. On attack, summon a power cell token rested. Then each opponent banishes X cards from their graveyard, where X is the amount of power cell tokens you control. Yeah. Yeah. So this card has a power stat of 2. So it immediately, for 2 costs, adds 2 attack to your, I guess, automaton attack, right? And it summons a power cell token and then banishes cards from a graveyard on attack, not on hit, not on resolution attack, but on the initiation attack. It's very
Oh
important.
yeah, that is good.
It's like hasty
That's important,
messenger.
yeah.
Yeah. So if, let's say, you want to use a power cell token with this card, you can actually still use it, let the on attack trigger resolve essentially, and then you could add a power cell token and then actually buff your automaton further with this attack. So this could be like, I do a lot of damage, but I still get like a full effect of, banishing your graveyard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. So it's very hard for them to stop the on attack, except maybe like a ceasing edict or a Song of Frost.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, that is true. But otherwise, I mean, you're pretty much guaranteed the power cell. You're guaranteed the banish. The rest of it, maybe the attack like doesn't actually hit anything. Okay, if it hits into a whatever else, like that's the secondary part of this. But I actually think this card is pretty interesting because I think a lot of times cards like this get like valued incorrectly because everyone tries to maximize it, right? Like they hold this card back too long. They're like, well, I don't have 4 power cell. I really want to banish 4 things. But I think because this card has so many little pieces, just being able to banish a single card is insanely good, right? Especially in our current meta where fire cares about the graveyard for any card, water cares about the graveyard with respect to pretty much all water cards / floating memory. Now you have 2 basically deck archetypes where you can swing your automaton into, and there's extra value already.
Yeah, but your opponent gets to pick what they want to banish.
Really? Then each opponent banishes? Oh, they do.
Yeah, like so you probably need to get X equals like 2 or 3, probably 3 to really make it worth your while. Like
If you're water deluge, if you're fire anything, you can't kindle anymore, you can't rend anymore.
what if you don't have an automaton? Huh? Like if I just wipe the board and then
Why would you run this card in a non-automaton deck?
Like,
everything is automaton.
if you had a regular attack,
Yeah.
I wipe your board, you
Yeah.
can at least still attack with it.
Yeah.
Now you're like, I draw this, I have no board. Oh, I this is like a worthless card, basically, right? It's just a brick.
I think honestly, like if think about ways that your automaton deck's gonna have a lot of power cells, you're already kind of there, you're halfway there, you're gonna swing with your automatons anyways. This card swings it better.
I do like that it also works with your token automatons.
Yes, all automatons.
Right, and you're probably going to generate like a bunch of those in these types of decks. And yeah, I guess the unique aspect of a command rather than a normal attack is you can use multiple in a turn, as long as you have
Multiple automatons,
multiple
yeah.
automatons to swing with.
Yeah,
So it's kind of like it's a double-edged sword. You have the ability to cast multiple of these cards in
Yeah.
a turn, but if you don't have the automatons, you can't even play it. And for that reason, I say this is trash.
How do you think this compares to like a scavenging raccoon? I mean, you could potentially banish more cards than a
Yeah.
scavenging raccoon can, but also the opponent chooses what they banish.
yeah. I think to be fair, I totally did not realize that I didn't make the choice. My opponent made the choice. So that makes it. That does make it
we
worse.
convinced Mark that this is actually trash.
However, you have to remember, in an automaton deck, almost every automaton also generates a power cell. And all these power cells are very useful because there are other cards also in the set that basically say like power cells draw cards. It's like you're making the power cells are already there as a given for automaton deck, right? Now we're just leveraging them for way more value with cards like this. Again, on attack, not on hit. not on damage, on whatever. If you deal damage, do this.
Yeah.
It's a very different, the wording does matter a
Yeah,
lot.
I think you're right. Probably the floor is going to be X equals 3.
Yeah.
Because your turn 1 is like, I play an automaton that makes a power cell.
Sure.
I get my backup charger, make a power cell. I attack with this, now I have 3.
Yep. And 3 is pretty good. I mean,
Probably
like
the floor.
how many of these like Fire Lorraine decks are literally have a graveyard of about 3 the whole time, and they're just trying to get 3 in there.
I guess you have a point.
Right. If you wipe their board and you're not so afraid of wiping their board now because you can wipe their board and then just attack with like one automaton, and now you take out their entire graveyard.
Yeah.
Right.
But also, I just hate attack for 2 for 2. That sucks. So it's trash.
But you get a power cell
There's
though.
other things too.
The power cell is plus 2 more. I don't know. Anyways, I think it's kind of fun. It does also open up a new design space, which I think could be very interesting. Right. Command automaton, command beast, command bovine.
I see where
Very
you're going.
interesting.
Geldis.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Just put buff counters on things, man.
True. Eva, do you have a card for us?
Oh,
Wait,
do we need a,
what's the conclusion?
What does the chat think?
Conclusion for this card? Yeah, what do
chat,
you guys
is
think?
this
at home?
card trash or gas?
I kind of think it's just like good. It's fine. It's like
Mid? This is the mid card?
It's not mid. It's good.
It's trash.
Total
This
trash?
card is total trash. I'm sorry, Mark.
All right. We'll see.
It's fine.
We'll see. When the automaton deck becomes real, this card will be
No,
a thing.
it's good. It's just not like gas. I don't know.
What's the rarity on this card?
Uncommon.
Potential. That's all I know.
There's your 15-cent bulk uncommon.
Or my $9 Frostform Paladin. Let's go.
Sure, pal.
Sure.
Okay.
Keep dreaming. Keep
Move-
dreaming.
moving on.
Mark Solar games. Okay, I'll talk about my
Stop
card
shattering
now.
my dreams. Let's shatter Eva's dreams.
All right, Eva's card.
Okay, my card to talk about is Regal Expulsion.
Okay.
And I brought up this card because I actually think it's the most overrated card that was unrevealed. So this card is a 2-cost fast spell in water. It says negate target card activation if that card was activated from a material deck. So this is cards like Polaris Twinkling Cauldron and Shadow's Claw that say like you may activate this card from your material deck if condition is met, and that means that you can bring it out from your material deck during your main phase rather than waiting for your materialization phase. So you get things out a little earlier. I'd say a lot of people were very hyped on this card when it was revealed.
Yeah.
What were your guys' thoughts on it?
Do people not know that you can just Frostbind an activation from material deck? You know you can do that, right?
Yeah,
like
you
if you're
can.
like, oh, I
Yeah.
pull my players, I'm like, no, Frostbind.
Yeah, but
That
then if
does
they're
work.
holding up all their cards, then.
Sure.
But this is unconditional.
It's true. It is unconditional. I think if the old unerrated scepter were still legal, this card would be a lot better.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. So this card really does depend on like what in the meta is activated from the material deck.
Okay.
So like I know a lot of people were like, "What? This card is crazy," or like, "Oh, I like will definitely play this card. I'll definitely sideboard this card." But I don't know. So this is just like my gut feeling right now. I'm obviously not a competitive player or an expert. This is just my impression right now based on what I'm seeing. So like, what's in the meta that this would hit? Polaris Twinkling Cauldron, like I said.
That's a good one.
Arsana.
Yeah.
Shadow's Claw.
Oh yeah,
Which
that's
is played
Shadow's
by
Claw.
Umbra Tristan.
Yep.
That's very important in their deck. And then sometimes Mercenary's Blade,
Yeah.
played by Xanders.
Yep.
And then in the kind of like, you sometimes see it, but it's not full meta yet. Vorkin's Soul Knife,
Yep.
played by Fire Aggro Xander. Gaia's Blessing, which used to be played commonly by Slime Sylvie and might make a comeback when MRC Alter
Oh yeah.
drops with the new baby silver slime.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking also for DTR, when we get the new Diana,
Yeah.
maybe Framework Sidearm, which is the gun,
Yeah.
could be
Yeah.
meta.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm thinking like, as a water player, all of these things can just be fractorized. like every single water player runs fractorize anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have room for this card in your deck, really.
Right. Yeah.
You also have Song of Frost already, which most water players are playing or in their sideboard. And so, like, the Song of Frost is gonna kill, like, for example, Shadow's Claw, Mercenary's
Yeah.
Blade, those are for attacks. You have Song of Frost for
Yeah.
that. Or Ceasing Edict if you're a
Hmm.
main.
You have better tools that are specific for all those scenarios. Yeah.
Yeah, or
But Fractalize does give your opponent a free resource.
it does. It
They're
does.
getting this thing essentially for free, and you're saying, okay, we'll have a free like reserve forever for the rest of the game
Fractalize is floating.
for you, but it's also giving me resource for the
so
rest of the
you're
game.
basically both at like 0.
Yeah, and then I come in with the charge directive and I eat your Fractalize. Anyways,
That could happen. That absolutely could happen.
Yes, but can your Fractalize destroy a Vanitas 3 Dominus Rex?
correct.
That's right.
Yeah, so there's that too, right? There's like literally champions that can be activated as well.
Yeah.
So
if
that's kind of insane.
Vanitas comes back to the meta.
Yeah, that's kind of insane. The other thing also too is I think that the fact that this card exists, you don't even have to play it. It is so powerful.
Uh-huh.
It's like Frozen Dismissal, right? Because that card exists, and I show that I'm a Spirit of Water. Are you gonna like rethink potentially dropping like something at a certain place and say, oh shoot, you know what? If I lose my Shadow's Claw, this could be game ending,
That's true, yeah.
right? So just the fact that it exists makes you double like you don't even have in your deck. So I think it's kind of weird in a weird like like meta gaming way, like because this card is possible, people are going to double like really rethink whether they're going to pull that card out for free or something.
I 1000% agree with you. Frozen Dismissal was the card that I thought that this card kind of reminds me of in terms of just like where, like the psychological impact. Where like not a lot of people play it, but they think, what if you have it? So, despite the fact that I currently don't think this card is as strong as people think, I like that it exists.
Yeah.
I think it's very interesting.
Yeah.
And we can just look at the meta, right? So like the other nice part about this card is we can just look at the material decks for a lot of like top decks. For example, let's say you were about to go to a tournament, right? You could literally say, oh, everyone's running this card, which is their key like combo piece or their like game ending card, right? Their win condition. Okay, well, I'm just going to slot in 2 of these in the sideboard just because I know they could potentially be running this deck, or I'm going to run into this deck 40% of the time. This card will come in use. So, yeah, this card might actually be real. This might be real.
Yeah. I was pretty committed to saying that this card was utter trash at first, but I think you've convinced me that it's in the right meta, potentially gas.
Now, the counterplay to this, of course, is that you show this card, they're just going to activate normally for the rest of the match.
That's true, yeah. They could
You
activate
can just
it
play
normally.
around it.
But this is the heavily guide chicken game, right? You take this card out and you side back when you're side back in something else, and it's fine.
God.
Did I unconvince you again?
I think, yeah, I'm back to thinking this is trash.
Yep. Yeah. So the counterplay to this is like, if I ever see it, I'm like, okay, fine. I'm just gonna activate players normally. What do you do about it?
I think it's good. I just think it's overrated currently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we unified in saying that this card is trash?
I think I'm mid at best, but I think it's trash. Yeah.
All right. Remember when we're gonna be like, when this card is played in every deck, we're gonna look really stupid, but like.
Yeah, DTR is gonna bring out like all your material that can be activated. All right, next card.
Next card.
Next
My turn. I got a spicy one for you.
Okay.
Okay.
So I got the advanced element card. It's called Accursed Strength. Accursed Strength. It's a 2-cost ranger spell action. Just hang in with me. I'm gonna read this and then we'll kind of explain what it does. All right. Diana bonus, it costs 1 less to activate.
Okay.
So if you're playing Diana, instead of costing 2, it costs 1.
Okay.
The ability is draw 3 plus X cards. Wow, draw 3 plus X. That's
one.
insane. For one. Wow, it's busted.
Yay.
Where X is the amount of curse cards in your champion's lineage minus your influence.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
So you have some serious math to do here. But basically what it does is you take 3 and you add the number of curses you have on your lineage. Then you look at your influence and you draw the difference. So let's say you have 4 curses on your champion, and you have a hand of 5.
Yeah.
And so 3 plus 4 is 7. So you draw 2 cards.
You draw until your influence matches 3 plus the amount of curse cards
That's right.
you have. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just wanted to kind of.
Yeah, that's another way. Yeah, a very clean way of putting
Reword
it
it.
for sure. Yeah. What do you guys think? Seems hard to pull off. I can tell you, it's actually not as hard as you think.
Really?
All right. Well, like,
What curses are you putting on yourself
I mean, sure, you can do
that aren't killing you?
I think he's
curses do kill you. Yes, this is true. So if you just like Umbra Sight a bunch of times, you can put those on here. And that's like you could chain Umbra Sights together. That's probably the most efficient way of doing it, but you're gonna take a ton of damage in the process.
Yeah.
As you're putting Umbra Sights on, or you could play some of those Umbra allies that become curses when they die. So
Yeah.
you can like cremation them and like put them on your champion and do this. I think that's kind of like a pretty slow way of doing it.
Okay.
But guys, don't even think about curses, okay? You just need your influence to be really low,
Yes.
okay? So how do you get influence low? I think you guys all know, okay? Diao-chan, fractals.
Oh no.
Okay, you just played Diana fractals, dude. Okay, you put all your influence
This is
into
not where I was-
into
this is not where I was gonna go.
reservable
Wait,
fractals.
Are you thinking of like siphoning fractal or something? Diana had like
yeah,
there's an
it
Umbra
is an
fractal.
Umbra
You could just
fractal.
play. You could just play fractals.
Just play all
Yeah,
the
I know.
water fractals.
Change your hand
Yeah.
into like
Into fractals?
hand and the field.
Okay, yeah, once you do all that, you play this. Cost 1 and draw 3.
Bro, just play Zhang Jiao at this point.
Okay, Zhang Jiao. Yeah, so what's the most broken card in HVN? It's Zhang Jiao.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
What's better than a 3-cost thing that you tap a bunch of fractals that draws 2 cards? A 1-cost thing that you tap a single fractal to draw 3 cards.
Yep.
Wow. That's value.
Yep.
I got more.
Oh,
All right.
He's still going.
So
He's
have you heard of a card called Eternal Kingdom?
Yeah.
So okay, so it makes for those of you who don't know, this makes your domains have reservable.
Diana domains?
No.
Nani?
So you can't do Diana domains because
Okay.
this is a class bonus guardian
okay,
Yes.
okay.
ability.
Yes.
But so I'm actually maybe looking like into the future a little bit. But what Umbra
he's
Guardian?
theorizing.
What
No.
Umbra Guardian champion are we
Clock.
gonna
The
get?
clock. We're putting you on a clock, okay?
Yeah.
Which clock?
That's right, CL Guardian Eternal Kingdom
Yes.
with tap all my
Umbra Guardian.
all my domains. I draw 3 cards. I don't need curses.
True.
That's right.
True.
I think that would be the single most efficient burst draw card in the entire game. Am I wrong?
So Fome, I can tell you've never played Diana. I'll tell you why. Okay, 2 things. Number 1,
He's not talking about Diana. He's talking about CL.
true, but Umbra Sight, right? The problem with the Umbra Sight is Umbra Sight is a +1. So if you curse yourself with the Umbra Sight, you draw 2 cards. So now you're like you have to work harder to get rid of your hand again. So that doesn't quite work. But-
You don't have to do the second part of it. Oh wait, no.
Then-
To
then
make
you
it into
can't
a curse, you can't curse
Yes,
yourself.
you have to curse yourself in front of the
no.
card. You're never gonna get there by Umbra Sighting. But I'll tell you, the other reason is because, like, you could just watch Line play Diana at Nats last year. What happens to every Diana player when they go to 3? What's their influence? 1, 2? Yeah. So most likely, if you're doing the Diana thing and you get to 3 and you like bust out your gun, your Shadow Twin, whatever. And I'm not even talking about the cursed Diana. I'm talking about the other one, right? Like the Shadow Stalker,
Dusk Stalker?
Dust Stalker. Okay. You're gonna be at 1 influence. So this card, just once you hit 3, it's like it costs 1 to draw 2,
Yeah,
Yeah.
draw 2.
Yeah.
which is pretty good because that's
That's a pretty
That's already
good floor.
pretty good,
A
right?
pretty darn good floor.
because at that point most Dianas are like, I'm gonna double ping you Shadow Twin. You're at a weird like, I'm gonna continue to die mode, and then Diana's gonna restock.
yeah.
So it's I think this, if you line up the right like play, it could work out pretty well. I'm kind of into it. Yeah, I'm kind of into it. But I do think that it's like this whole trying to get the curse to right with your influence. It's gonna be pretty rough.
But you don't need to do that. It's just fractals.
It's pretty rough.
It's just fractals.
Pretty rough.
It's gas. That's
Yeah.
right. Eva is gas, right?
Oh, sure. You're putting your fractals.
I will also say, like, I mean, we're gonna have like some more Ranger, Umbra Ranger support in MRC Alter, and then we're gonna have more Ranger support come DTR. So this could actually be kind of like crazy because there's a lot of potential that is also unlocked by this card, or locked behind this card.
That's right. Chat, what do you think?
Chat, what do you
Is a
guys
cursed strength trash or
Is this
gas?
cursed or is it cursed?
Or is it just me?
Yeah. Also, I'm curious, like, what other cards you guys thought, were trash or gas worthy that we didn't even mention in this segment. So happy to, hear about that in the comment section down below. Speaking of wanting to hear your feedback, if you have a question for TalkGA, we would love to hear it. And you can reach out to us on Twitter at TalkGA_podcast. And on YouTube, on this very video or any video really, you can just start with hashtag TalkGA, followed by your question. And of course, you can also traditionally email us at talkgapodcast@gmail.com, and we will get to your questions live on air. But that is it for this week's episode of TalkGA. Thank you guys all for watching. Thank you guys for joining me and talking about Grand Archive. It's great. It's always fun.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time. Stay classy.
Stay classy.
Stay classy.
Welcome to TalkGA. Welcome to another. Okay, now we are really
All right, we're
messed.
so rusty.
I was on a
So
roll for
rusty.
many episodes. Welcome to another episode of TalkGA, our podcast on anything and everything Grand Archive. I'm your host.
You said podcast.
Podcast. Okay.
The podcast.
I know.
Welcome to the podcast.
New York or Boston.
Boston. Pack the cat.
Podcast.
Pack the cat.
Pack the cat.
Pack the cat.
Podcast.
Catcast?